Goodness comes and evil goes. Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, divine liberty, divine liberation, divine freedom, and all that will bring for African people wherever we happen to be on the face of this earth. Karibu, welcome. My name is Kwende, and today we're going to get into another important subject, and that subject is celebrate your progressive and ordered African community. Now, the Creator Supreme brought into being the sacred universe, which is a community of elements that harmonize and work together for this grand and superlative divine expanse to exist, to function. African souls are central in the sacred universe. Of course, by decree of the ultimate divine. And then, of course, the African naturally reflects what he and she is a part of, is central in, is core in. So it is indeed natural for the African to be a people that are communal, that have communal living, that have community, that functions and harmonizes to ensure the development, the growth, and the elevation of this special people. Communal living is made real because of the abundant resources that the African naturally has been bestowed upon with. Natural resources of land above and below the soil, natural resources in terms of the self, and the abundance of qualities that come with being African. And it is out of that the shared experience and the communal living of oneness becomes most powerful and most empowering to each community member. Inherent, of course, is order, being organized, having institutions that allow communal living to be manifest, because community is not simply a collection of bodies. There's a little bit more to it than that. It certainly is collective, but it is rooted collectiveness, rooted in the living knowingness of the self at its various levels. The self, being the person self, the self being the harmonious and complementary union between the African male and the African female, the oneness of African familyhood, all are part of the functioning of what it means to have a community. An African community. Unfortunately, in recent times, as most of us will be painfully aware of, others that mean the African ill have set upon the African community to undo African oneness of the communal collective self. And they have attempted to render African grouping simply as a collection of bodies that becomes a repository for them to use and abuse at will. African souls do not exist simply to serve the best interests of others, and worst yet, others that mean the African ill. So it is absolutely vital that the various levels of the self are brought into collective fruition, institutions built accordingly, maintained accordingly, so that an ordered community of African souls can be wherever we are in the world. And that is why it is also important, no matter what our day-to-day lives look like, whether we are so-called professionals or not professionals, or whether we are in the realms of academia, whatever be the case, we must surely have some organ, some structure that we are a part of, independent of others that mean the African ill. And in so doing, we can bring progressive African souls together, marching on that upward climb of forever knowing the self in living form. And we can bring together familyhood in that onward march of knowing the self in living form, and continue to do that so that communityhood becomes real in our lives, so that African lives can flourish in a more wholesome way, in a safeguarded way, in an empowering way, as one African assists the other, as one African lifts the other, as one African shares wisdom with the other, as one African builds with the other, and so on. So we do ourselves a great service as African souls to see and make real the African communal self beyond merely being a populace of number, a collection of bodies, haphazard and operating, for want of a better phrase, like loose cannons, which can and may indeed implode, fueled by imposition from outside. So let us gain strength. Let us empower ourselves in collective missioning towards that onward, ever upward climb to make real nation. Let rooted living take hold. Let it be restored to African life, and let us celebrate the progressive and ordered African community. And one of the times that we can celebrate that in is during the period of the wonderful observance called Kwanzaa, beginning on the 26th of December and running through until the 1st of January, 7 days to celebrate community and its elements. So with that, food for thought, and surely it is food for thought. Kimunga ukumbozi, kimunga ukumbozi, kimunga ukumbozi. Divine liberty, divine liberation, divine freedom, and all that that will bring for African people wherever we happen to be on the face of this earth.